it's the secondary really that are complaining.
It's meaningful. So.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
It's meaningful, exactly. And then the third, so teacher as learner, teacher as facilitator, is teacher as collaborator. And that's built into the school day, where we have our meetings, and it's collaborating about the work of the children. And so when, as I said, when the teachers come with their documentation, we usually what happens is that they will send us the documentation before the meeting, so we've had time to read it, and then we are looking at it and how we can move the children on. So those three areas are the areas that we're looking at. That doesn't mean that teachers are not collaborating every minute of the day. You know, they are talking about the work they do when they're sitting in the staff room, when they're documenting whatever they're doing. And you see, putting together displays like this was wonderful professional development for the teachers. Wonderful. Because they came with piles of documentation to bring it down into one panel was enormous thinking and everybody working together. It was wonderful. It was wonderful professional development. You must take time to look at the panels.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go back. Remember I said role of the teacher? Image of the child, so I've spoken about all those things. Role of the teacher. The fact that the documentation actually is fundamental to the work. So you understand about documentation.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're finding it very difficult to do.
And no, because you know what it is? When we start documenting too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too much, we start documenting
Everything.
Everything.
No, we did exactly the
don't
same.
know how to interpret them.
Yes. Well, that's exactly right. And we did the same.
Alright, so we are not
making
making
the same mistakes.
No, this is part of the process.
So go back and
That's why it's good to come here.
It's part of the process. We started to document everything. We had no idea what to do with the documentation. But we've refined it now. So, and listen, what you hear from me is not what you might see in Reggio, because we feel we are this far along this enormous journey. We're never going to get there, we know, because every time we go we see things that we hadn't realized before, because we are different in our thinking. So the very first thing I did though with my teachers was, because I wanted them to start changing their image of the child, because we did focus a lot on the things that children couldn't do rather than what they could do. I started to ask the teachers just to document 2 or 3 conversations every week. And the thing is that we actually sat and we read those conversations, and we didn't know what to do with them at all. But it really began to change the teacher's image of the child, because they began to really listen to the children. And so in terms of the documentation, okay, so to go back to and I'll talk about the documentation, but to go back to the role of the teacher, it's the teacher as a facilitator, as a learner alongside children, and the teacher as researcher. And for us, most of our work now is about the teacher as researcher. This has become a huge shift for us in our work. In Reggio, they talk about the pedagogy of listening. No, that's the most important thing, about the teacher really listening, not just with your ears, but with your eyes, with all your senses, and with your heart. And really, that is, absolutely crucial to the philosophy too. Okay, in terms of the documentation, now what we do is, when we are starting with a big question, or we come back with something that the children had said, we will think about how we're going to document this conversation, whether we're going to use a tape recorder, whether we are going to video this, whether we are going to just use photographs and writing. It's carefully thought about by the teacher beforehand. Because it's not just about the recording everything. We might come back with a small group of children with that particular question, and we're documenting that. We're not walking around the classrooms documenting everything we see, and that just makes it much, much more manageable.
And how big is the class?
There are 25 children in the class.
Is that a max?
Max.
And the small group will be?
4 or 5. No more than that. How many children do you have in your class?
It can be up to 30.
Yeah,
From 1 and 2.
3 to 40.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
With one adult.
Yes.
Did you have a co-teaching in school?
In our preps, we have a co-teacher.
Okay.
Okay, so in our kindergartens, you've got 2 members of staff, a qualified teacher and an assistant, and our assistants all speak Hebrew. They teach Hebrew and Jewish studies. Okay, they're all Israeli.
And all these are part of your staff cohort?
Yes.
Paid?
Yeah, they're all paid. The assistant is not paid as a teacher, but they because they're not qualified.
Yeah.
They're all, the regulations in Australia have changed in terms of the very young, early childhood, preschool. They're not accepting anyone without at least a Certificate 3 training. Okay, and so all of ours are being trained at the moment. So they're busy studying at the moment. So you've got 2 in every one of the kinders. In our preps, which is the first year of school, we've got 25 children with 1 teacher and an assistant. Some of those assistants are qualified teachers, and they just want part-time work, but they are paid as assistants. They understand that they're paid as assistants because that's the role that they do. And then in grade 1, it's 1 teacher. But we work a lot with our parents. Parents
come into the classroom.
and they support, particularly during the literacy time.
Yeah.
Not so much in other times. They were a little bit older at that time. So the role of the teacher, and then the environment is seen very much, that's the third thing, as the third teacher. If we say we've got 2 teachers, it's the third teacher.
Yep.
And it's a very thoughtful environment. It's not just about having things there because it's everything that is there is because it's there for a reason. Now, when you walk around, you should go into the kinders as well as the preps and ones. It will be interesting for you to see that the primary classrooms look more like classrooms than the kinders do. You know, but the thinking and the work that's taking place is quite amazing. Just to go back to tell you about the Mary Featherston, the furniture. Okay. The furniture you see here is not about regional. Okay. It was designed for this building. I think you'll probably find a lot of the furniture actually in St. Leonard's as well, and definitely you'll see a lot of the furniture in Warana Park. But when we built this beautiful building, and our school architect actually went to Reggio and went through the whole learning program.
Wow.
Do you have a chance?
Yeah, under his own expense, or?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask. But that was, when we were building, we've got an architect that works always through the school. Okay. He was a parent at the school. And one of the things that happened was that when they bought this property, we were about 10 minutes away. I suggested that they should actually send our school architect because we were working with the ideas and what an opportunity. Okay. So that was the first year we went in 1996. They sent myself, our head of primary, and Ron, our architect. And he went really intending just to go and look at school buildings. But actually he came through the whole training program. He stayed and he said it changed his thinking about his architecture but also about his own children.